So work stuff here. It's funny when I did an email marketing campaign, what I think I did, so that was, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think what I did is I put a Calendly link that was for an appointment type that had, maybe the first 3 weeks blacked out or something like that. Because all the people that ended up booking appointments were for this week, or actually last week. So there was a day when I had like 3 cold appointments from email marketing, which was kind of nice. And I had known when they booked those, it came out a little bit, so that gave me time to prepare. But it looks like one, if not two. I'd say one, I'd give it maybe like a 70% chance. The other one's probably like an 80% chance, although it's kind of an iffy one as to whether it's really going to um, add much value to their business, but we'll see. And then the third one did the appointment and then missed the follow-up one. So could end up getting 2 out of 3 clients just from that one day kind of email marketing thing. So
Nice.
so that's kind of fun. Obviously the best type of new clients you get are from referrals, but when you're going through that chain, you end up sort of locked in that same community, so to speak. So when you get somebody outside that community from like an email marketing or from social media, it almost like plants another seed somewhere else, and hopefully, because they don't know all of your other clients, whereas when you get a referral, with the local stuff that I do here, they probably know half the people in their network are the same as
Right.
yours. So that's nice. But it's nice to sort of branch out a little bit and plant those. I have one client that does these spider plants, so it's kind of like that. They grow big, and then and then you can pull them and start them. So it's kind of like that. That's what I'm picturing in my mind. But we were talking, before we were recording, but it might not make it into the show. But just like trying to streamline our own videos and our own content and stuff like that. The cobbler's kids have no shoes, or whatever the reference we always use. But so I've been doing a lot of videos that have been individual for companies, like onboarding videos, which is pretty neat. So I know you work in that space too. So it's nice that if people can go through their mandatory, sexual harassment training, or their mandatory, email phishing training, and then also go through the onboarding video for their 401k, which in most instances now they're automatically enrolled in anyway. So we're trying to get more involved in that process, which is pretty neat. So some of those videos, there's pieces of them that I can continue to use. So, a lot of times I can just say, hello and welcome to ABC Company. Congratulations on your new job. You're automatically involved in ABC Company 401k. And then a lot of the rest of the video is the same, because a lot of the plan design is the same. And then maybe at the end, I can come back in and talk about, company specifics. Maybe is, once you're here 6 months, you'll be eligible to participate in the plan. Or once you're here 3 months, you're eligible to participate in the plan. So trying to build out that video content and get that snowballing a little bit.
I don't know if you're doing this intentionally or not, but that's exactly the thing I'm going to be talking about today for my stuff.
No, because we didn't even talk about that. But yeah, I mean, it's
That's
all
so funny.
those leveraging that repeatable content, repeatable tasks. And as I talked about a
How
little
are
bit.
you? Can I ask, how are you administering the videos? Through what mechanization are you administering those videos?
Yeah, so I actually use YouTube, and use the private link. Let me make sure I get the terminology right, because there is a little bit of a confusing terminology there. But when you upload a new video, that can be public, which is probably 99.9% of the videos, and then they can be
Unlisted?
What's that?
Is
Yeah,
it
then there's private and unlisted. So so one of them is where it's still public. People can get to it if they have the link. And then other ones are totally private, where they can only get it if they're signed in and logged in. So it's for a specific person. So I mean, if it's a general company video about ABC Company's 401k plan, I mean, that's semi-public information anyway, because most of it's on the 5500. So it's not like I would have to worry about that link falling into the wrong hands or something like that. But it's still, it's still out there.
But
But at
do you
least
have a
that way.
Do you
I
have
can try. Yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Well,
I
I was
can.
going to ask, do you have a portal where like you enroll the new resource or employee or resource? You type in their first name, you type in their last name, you type in their email address, and you click enroll. Do they then get a series of emails and that like click here for the YouTube video, the welcome YouTube video, or do you like call them and say like, or do you, how does that work? And I don't know, that just matters to me for some reason.
Yeah, no, and that's a really good question. And I would say for onboarding process in the 401k industry, it's still very choppy, and part of that is because it's the data is going through the record keeper. So if you've got a Fidelity or Vanguard 401k, that's where the data is being pushed to. That's where the census file, and that's connecting with the payroll behind the scenes usually. And again, even that's dependent on the plan. To nerd out a little bit, sometimes they have what's called 360 integration, which is fully hands off by the employer. So an employee signs up for, they do their benefits package, maybe even on their phone. And then the payroll company sends it to the 401k provider. And then the 401k provider reaches out to the participant, the employee, without ever being touched by the employer, which is ideal, which is really nice. And then sometimes they have what's called 180 integration. So, John Smith logs in and he changes his contribution from $50 a month to $60 a month. And then the 401k company will email the business owner and say, hey, John Smith changed their contribution, go into your, payroll system and change that. So it really depends on the setup a little bit. As the advisor, the data isn't necessarily coming to me. So that's why I've slowly started to build these connections with the 401k provider. So as soon as they're updated, I'm updated as well. So I can get that email out to them from my side that says, hey, John Smith at ABC Company, you're going to be getting an email from Fidelity and Vanguard about your new 401k. Here's what it means in plain English. Here's what it
Right.
means. I'm in town. If you want to meet me at, Dunkin' Donuts to go over this, or if you want me to stop by ABC Company after hours, I'll do that and sort of get that, personal
In that
spin on
same
it.
email, will you have supporting links to those unlisted YouTube videos that you're
Yes.
describing?
Yep.
Here's some
Yep.
helpful videos to help you get started kind of thing?
Yeah, and those are kind of one and done, once unless the plan design changes or whatever. So we can go that route. And then, I can even link them to some of my general public videos, which I have to do, some of those. Like I did a video earlier this year, like how to manage your 401k in a volatile market, or what you should be doing.
That's
Not
great.
to incite any extremist trading or anything like that, but again, that draws people back to the channel, or it can draw people back into my Facebook group, which is a mixture of participants and general public. So
That's good marketing content for you also, as an aside.
yeah. So I think that stuff, as a smaller advisory firm, that I can do that a lot of the big companies, just because their compliance stuff won't, it'll sit on somebody's desk for 6 months before somebody signs off on it. So that's an area where I can be kind of quick and nimble there. When I started my firm, that was the idea, is kind of bring these big company, big, plan design features and those sort of ideas down to the local bakery with 5 employees. There's no reason they can't have a 401k that's as good as, United Healthcare or UTC or, somebody else in Connecticut. So allow them at least to be competitive from a benefit standpoint in that arena. So just keep wringing out the sponge, so to speak, right? You get
I
there
love
and
it.
then you change process, and you get there and you change process. So yeah, pretty excited about that.